You're on a rooftop in a city you'll never name. 4 stories up. Perfect angle. The rifle is chambered. A suppressed SR-25. Not American made. Nothing you carry is American made. That's rule number 1. The wind is calm. 3 miles per hour from the east. You've already done the math. At this range it doesn't matter. His security detail is good. Former military. Trained by the Russians. 6 men in 2 vehicles. They swept the restaurant before you arrived. They checked the kitchen, the bathrooms, the back alley. But they're looking for car bombs and kidnappers. They're looking for men with guns rushing the front door. They're not looking up. He steps out of the restaurant, kisses a woman who isn't his wife, laughs at something his bodyguard says, adjusts his tie. He's in no hurry. Why would he be? He's untouchable. He's been untouchable for 15 years. Your earpiece crackles. 1 word. Execute. You exhale. Squeeze. The rifle kicks. The round travels 412 meters in less than half a second. The man drops. The woman screams. His bodyguards reach for their weapons, but there's nothing to shoot at. They spin in circles. They scan the street. They look at windows. They look at cars. By the time they think to look at rooftops, you're already down the stairs. The rifle stays behind. It's been sanitized. No prints. No DNA. Serial numbers filed off years ago. You walk out the back of the building. A different outfit. A different walk. Just another man heading home from work. You're in a taxi heading to the airport when you hear the sirens. Tomorrow, a news anchor will call it a suspected gang hit. A government will deny involvement. Conspiracy theories will bloom on the internet. And the dictator who was planning to massacre his own people will be remembered as a man who died outside a restaurant. You won't be remembered at all. That's the job. You're already elite when they find you. Delta Force, SEAL Team 6, MARSOC, Rangers. 15 years of deployments. Medals you can't talk about. Operations that don't exist. You've done 6 combat tours. You've lost count of the firefights. You've watched friends die. You killed more men than you want to remember. But you're getting older. Your knees ache, your back is held together by cortisone shots and stubbornness. The military wants you behind a desk. Training command, staff position, something with regular hours and a pension. Then a man approaches. No uniform, no rank, just a business card. White, no name, no logo, just a phone number. 10 digits. Call this number if you're interested in continuing to serve. You tell yourself you're not going to call. You've done your time, you've earned the desk. You call anyway, a voice answers. No greeting, just tomorrow, 9 a.m., and an address. The meeting happens in a boring office park, the kind of place that has insurance companies and accounting firms. You walk past a coffee shop, a dry cleaner, a dentist's office. The suite number leads to an unmarked door. You knock, it opens. Inside, a conference room with no windows, fluorescent lights, a table, 2 chairs on each side. 2 men in suits wait for you. They don't shake hands, they don't give names. They gesture for you to sit. They know everything. Your deployments. Every single one, including the ones that were classified /SCI, including the one in the country the US officially has no presence in, including the operation where your team captured a high-value target who was never publicly identified. They know about your kills, not the official number, the real number. They know about your divorce, your daughter who lives with your ex-wife in San Diego, your mother's medical bills, your credit score. They've been watching you for 3 years. The pitch is simple. We need people who can do things the military can't, in places the military can't go, for reasons that will never be explained. The military operates under Title 10, Rules of Engagement, International Law, Congressional Oversight. We operate under Title 50, different rules. You will work for the CIA's Special Activities Division, Ground Branch. You will be a paramilitary officer. They let that sink in. The reality is this: you will kill people for the United States government. Quietly, deniably, professionally. You will work in countries where there's no embassy, no military base, no backup. If something goes wrong, there's no quick reaction force coming to save you. If you're captured, we will deny you exist. We will deny we've ever heard of you. Your family will be told you died in a training accident. There will be no rescue mission, no body. If you die in the field, your family will get a check and a lie. There will be no flag-draped coffin, no military funeral, no burial at Arlington, just a star on a wall. No name under it, normal job, coaching or soccer team, barbecues on weekends. You say yes, you don't know what you just signed up for. Camp Peary, Virginia. 9,000 acres of restricted land along the York River. The locals call it the farm. The CIA calls it the Armed Forces Experimental Training Activity. Nobody calls it what it is, the place where they train spies and assassins. You think you know how to kill. Delta taught you everything. Room clearing, close quarters combat, long-range shooting. You've trained with the best in the world. You know nothing. The training starts with tradecraft, the art of being invisible. Dead drops. How to leave a message in a public place without being seen. A chalk mark on a mailbox, a thumbtack in a telephone pole, a newspaper left on a park bench with information hidden in the crossword. Signal sites. How to communicate with assets without ever meeting them. How to know if a meeting is safe or compromised. Surveillance detection routes. How to walk through a city and know within 30 minutes if you're being followed. How to use shop windows as mirrors. How to take turns that force anyone behind you to reveal themselves. How to disappear into a crowd. Counter surveillance. How to follow someone without being seen. How to work in teams. How to hand off a target from one watcher to another seamlessly. You practice for weeks. You follow instructors through cities. You get caught. You do it again. You get caught less. Eventually, you can follow someone for 8 hours and they never see you. Eventually, you can spot a tail within 3 blocks. Cover identity comes next. You're not learning a fake name. You're building a fake person. Complete background, where you were born, where you went to school, every job you've ever had, your parents' names, your siblings, your childhood dog. You don't just memorize this. You live it. You dream as this person. You wake up as this person. When someone asks where you're from, you don't hesitate. You don't think about your real hometown. The cover is you. Political opinions. You know the names of your fake coworkers. Your fake boss. You can describe the office layout of a company that doesn't exist. Foreign weapons training. AKMs, Dragunovs, weapons from every country. Chinese, Russian, Iranian. North Korean if you're using American weapons. You've already failed. Nothing traces back. If you kill someone with a Sig Sauer, that's an American signature. If you kill someone with a Makarov, that could be anyone. You learn to field strip weapons you've never seen before. You learn to shoot accurately with guns that aren't zeroed to you. You learn that most of the world's weapons are poorly maintained, and you need to compensate. Interrogation resistance, CRE training on steroids. They break you down. 72 hours without sleep, stress positions, water, noise, disorientation, psychological pressure that makes combat look simple. You learn that everyone breaks. Everyone. The question is not if, the question is when. The goal is to break slowly, give them nothing for as long as possible, protect the mission, protect your teammates. Buy time. The worst part isn't the physical. The worst part is the mental. They find your weaknesses, your fears, your guilt. They use everything. When it's over, you understand something. You can be broken. Anyone can. But you know how long you can last. And you know the tricks they'll use. The box. Advanced driving. This isn't NASCAR. This is combat driving. High-speed pursuits through city streets, ramming techniques, how to disable another vehicle with yours, how to PIT a car at 80 miles per hour and walk away. Evasive maneuvers, how to break contact when you're being followed, how to use traffic as a weapon, how to disappear, J-turns, reverse 180S, controlled crashes. You learn to drive through things, not around them. Fences, barriers, other cars if necessary. The unspoken lesson comes last. You're not a soldier anymore. Soldiers operate in uniforms. Soldiers are protected by international law. Soldiers have rules of engagement. Soldiers can surrender. You're a deniable weapon, a ghost with a gun. If the mission requires killing a target's wife because she's in the room, that's the mission. If the mission requires killing a child who saw your face, that's the mission. You don't have to like it, you just have to do it. Some guys watch out here, not because they're weak, because they realize what they're signing up for and they walk away. You stay. Ground Branch, the CIA's direct action arm. The unit that officially doesn't exist, maybe 200 operators total. Most are former special operations, Delta, SEALs, Marine Raiders, Rangers, Green Berets. The best of the best, recruited after they've already proven themselves. You're not military anymore. You're civilians, government employees with GS pay grades. Your job title is something boring. Analyst, advisor, consultant. Your actual job description would be classified above top secret. Your team is 6 guys, 3 former Delta, 2 former SEALs, 1 former Marine Raider who speaks 4 languages fluently and 3 more passively. You've all killed before. You've all seen things that would break normal people. Nobody talks about it. You don't have to. Everyone understands. The unit has access to everything. Any weapon you want, any equipment you need. Custom gear built to specifications that don't exist in any catalog. Private jets that can land anywhere. Safe houses in every country. Multiple identities ready to go. Cash in every currency. Budgets that don't get audited. You don't file expense reports. You don't justify purchases. If you need $1 million for an operation, you get $1 million. The missions fall into categories. Direct action. Kill or capture high-value targets. The people who are too dangerous to live but too protected to die through normal means. Terrorist leaders. Enemy intelligence officers. Training and advising. Turn local militias into armies. Arm rebels. Build insurgencies from scratch. You've done this in 12 countries. Most of them you'll never be able to talk about. Regime change. Destabilize governments. Sometimes from the inside, turning generals and ministers. Sometimes from the outside, funding opposition and arming revolutionaries. Sometimes both at the same time. Support operations. Work alongside JSOC. Delta and SEAL Team 6. Get the headlines. They kick down doors and capture terrorists. But someone has to find those doors first. Someone has to develop the intelligence. Someone has to prep the battlefield. That's you. You go in first. You gather intel. You build networks. You identify targets. Then you hand it off and disappear. They get the medal ceremonies and the movie deals. You get nothing, not even a mention in the classified after-action report. The culture of Ground Branch is different from the military. No uniforms, ever. You dress like contractors, cargo pants, hiking boots, beards. You look like you work for a security company or an oil firm. That's intentional. If anyone asks, you're private security or logistics consultants. You have business cards to prove it. No rank. The former E7 works alongside the former O4. The guy who was your commanding officer in the military now defers to the guy who was enlisted. In the field, only competence matters. Only results matter. Nobody cares about your career path or your connections. No records. Your operations are filed under code words that get destroyed after 5 years. There's no paper trail. There's no institutional memory. The things you do exist only in the minds of the people who did them. When those people die, the operations die with them. No accountability. Not in the normal sense. You don't report to generals. You don't answer to Congress. Your chain of command runs through the CIA's Directorate of Operations to people who never testify and never appear in public. No limitations. The military has rules of engagement. Legal review, JAG officers who tell you what you can and can't do. You have mission objectives. That's it. How you accomplish them is up to you. No recognition. The SEALs write books. Delta guys become consultants on movies. You can't even tell your family what you do. The work is its own reward, or it isn't, and you leave. The joking ground branch. The joking ground branch. We're the guys the government sends when they're done pretending to follow the rules. It's funny because it's true. It's also not really a joke. Your first kill for the agency is different than your first kill in combat. In combat, it's chaos, bullets flying, explosions, screaming. You shoot because someone is shooting at you. It's instinct. It's survival. This is deliberate, planned, cold. The target is a facilitator, a money man. He moves funds for terrorist organizations across 3 continents, shell companies, cryptocurrency, Hawala networks. Nothing touches a bank that anyone can trace. He's protected by a government that looks the other way, because he pays the right people. He's untouchable by law. He'll never see the inside of a courtroom. Not untouchable by you. You enter the country as a German businessman. Fake passport, fake company that actually has a website and answers phones. Real hotel reservation at a mid-range business hotel. For 2 weeks, you establish your cover. You take meetings with real businesses. You eat dinners with real people. You attend a trade conference. You hand out business cards. You're building a pattern that's boring, a pattern that no one would ever investigate. Then, when nobody's watching, you go to work. You map his life, the apartment where he lives with his wife, the office where he works, the car his driver uses, the route they take, the restaurants he likes, his girlfriend's apartment across town, the one his wife doesn't know about, the one he visits every Tuesday night. You find the gap. Tuesday nights, he arrives at 10 p.m., leaves around 2 a.m. His driver waits in the car downstairs. No other security. The building has a doorman but no cameras in the hallways. You report back. Encrypted communication, multiple relays. The message takes 6 hours to reach Langley through the chain. The response takes 2 hours. 1 word. Approved. A team of 4. You're on the door. 2 guys going inside. 1 driver. Tuesday night. You watch him arrive, you wait 2 hours. Let him relax. Let his guard down. 2 a.m. The lock takes 11 seconds. You've practiced on this exact model. The hallway is dark. Apartment 4B. The door isn't reinforced. Why would it be? He's safe here. 8 seconds on this lock. The door swings open. He's in bed with the girlfriend. He never wakes up. Suppressed weapons. 2 rounds each. Center mass. Then 1 to the head. Standard procedure. The girlfriend sees nothing. She's unconscious. A mild sedative in the wine bottle your team placed in her apartment yesterday. She'll wake up next to a body and remember nothing. You're in and out in 90 seconds. By dawn, you're on a flight to a 3rd country. By the time police arrive at the apartment, you're eating breakfast in a cafe 2,000 miles away. The news calls it a burglary gone wrong. The girlfriend is questioned and released. The wife gives a tearful interview. No one connects it to anything larger. His network collapses within weeks. Without him moving the money, the operations dry up. 3 planned attacks never happen. Hundreds of people will live because a man died in his bed. You don't feel good. You don't feel bad. You feel professional. This is the job. The president wants a dictator gone. He's been in power for 30 years. He's massacred civilians, tortured dissidents, developed weapons he shouldn't have. He's a problem, but an invasion would cost billions. Thousands of American lives. Years of occupation. Another quagmire. So they send you. You won't kill him directly. That would be too obvious. Too traceable. It would make him a martyr. Instead, you'll destroy everything around him. His power base. His support structure. His ability to govern. His generals will turn. His security will collapse. His people will rise. And when they drag him into the street, it'll look like their idea. Phase 1 takes 3 months. Your team infiltrates as humanitarian workers and journalists. Cover identities built over years. Real NGOs that don't know they're providing cover. Real press credentials from real outlets. You identify the cracks in the regime. Generals who are skimming money and living in fear of being caught. Colonels whose families were killed by the regime's purges. Politicians who want power and see no path to it. You make contact. Carefully. One by one. A general is approached through a 3rd party. A businessman who owes you favors. The message is simple. There might be an opportunity for someone who wants change. The general is suspicious. Of course he is. Everyone is suspicious in a country where your neighbor might be an informant. But he's also desperate. He knows the regime is rotting. He knows what happens to generals when regimes fall. He's seen the photographs from other countries, bodies hanging from bridges. He wants a guarantee, protection for his family, a way out if things go wrong. You give him both. His wife and children are quietly moved to a neighboring country. Account is opened in their name, enough money to start over. Now he's yours. You repeat this a dozen times. Different approaches, different leverage. Some want money, some want power. Some want revenge, some want to survive. Money flows. American money that can never be traced. Cash delivered by couriers who don't know where it comes from. Cryptocurrency bought and sold through a maze of exchanges. Weapons flow. Not American weapons. Russian, Chinese, captured stock from a dozen different conflicts. Nothing that leads back. Promises are made. A new government, elections, economic support, the backing of the United States. Whether those promises will be kept is above your pay grade. Phase 2 begins. Protests start, they look organic. Young people in the streets, social media campaigns that go viral, signs and slogans that seem to emerge from nowhere. They don't emerge from nowhere. They emerge from accounts you control, from organizers you've trained, from a playbook that's been used in a dozen countries. The dictator cracks down, exactly as planned. His troops fire on protesters. Images spread around the world. International condemnation, sanctions. His violence turns more people against him. Moderates who might have stayed home are now in the streets. The protests grow. More generals waver. They see which way the wind is blowing. They remember the accounts you opened for them, the families you relocated. Phase 3 moves fast. 3 generals defect in one night. Your team extracted their families hours before.